Hi, Sam here for licklibrary.com. Welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Steve Vai's playing style and habits. I'm going to break down some very simple key themes that come up in his phrasing, which we can all learn from, take away and add to our own playing so we're better able to express ourselves on the instrument. Okay, so grab your guitar and we'll dive in. So here I want to talk about slides and trills. These are things that come up a lot in Steve Vai's playing habits, and you heard me playing over a Lick Library backing track there for, it's an E Lydian, and I was using that key to find all the diatonic trills that I can do. So E Lydian, we have this. So that's our kind of scale, and what's really healthy is to be able to find on one string the scale notes. You could take anywhere. You could start on, let's start on the G string. I'm going to start here. I'm going to start on the 3rd frets. That's going to give me some nice notes to play with there. And what I'm going to do is I can practice doing trills between those diatonic notes. So between frets 3 and 4, between 4 and 6, between 6 and 8, between 8 and 9, and between 9 and 11, and then even between 11 and 13. And you're going to have to get that 15 up there as well if you want to keep it Lydian. So that's a nice little practice. And then something I struggle with a lot in my playing, as some may be able to tell, is index finger slides. I always trip up on them, and I think it's something really worth practicing and something that Vai has down to a T. So you might practice doing in time slides. You might tap your foot and you might practice. So you could take a theme like that. So that was me picking 3, then picking and sliding up into 4, and sliding back. Or you could do it without picking. Also, vibrato is something else that I'm working on and something to be aware of in our practice. So making sure you land on the note and then put the vibrato on in time and in tune. It's also really good to try and do bigger leaps. One of the pentatonics that you can get out of E Lydian would be, you can actually get D sharp minor pentatonic or E flat minor pentatonic. So E minor pentatonic works really nicely, and I was using a bit of that in the performance sections of this video, and that's got bigger leaps. So if you know where your E flat minor pentatonic is, you can then use that as a wider interval framework within the diatonic scale to get those wider interval leaps. Something else that's really worth trying out is finding all the semitones within the scale, the notes which are just two, or just basically adjacent to each other. In E Lydian, I could visualize the 11th and 12th fret on the B and E, and then 8th and 9th fret on the D and G, and the 6th and 7th fret on the low E and on the A. That's quite good. You've got the root, you've got the major 7th, you've got the 5th and the sharp 11 kind of highlighted in there. That's going to give you some of those cool tones and also very safe tones as well to play with. Now, the idea I want to talk about here is bending. Something that Vai does a lot. This is where he'll play a note like the 12th fret high E string, pull off to the 11th fret on the E and bend it straight up to the pitch of that 12th fret on the high E. Then bend it back down. You could take a whole scale pattern like this and go kind of improvise that example, but basically the idea was we're going to do the bending idea, so release and then off to the 7th fret there, like that. And you can practice that anywhere. You could take any diatonic kind of 3-note per string fragment. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some food for thought in terms of the bending phrasing that he does a lot, and there's so many examples of this. He'll go wild with it and put the whammy bar on, or repeat the same notes over and over again for intensity, or he does this very subtly within certain lines. I'm going off on one, but that's basically bending. So something that comes up a lot in Vai's playing as well, within riffs and within solos, either as chordal fragments or as individual notes, is the use of perfect intervals, meaning fourths and fifths. So power chords and double stops, as we probably know them in layman's terms, and that is really good for breaking up the more scalier type playing. So if perhaps we're doing a solo and we're using a lot of diatonic legato, kind of back-to-back notes, we can break that up with things like this. So finding all the power chord intervals within the diatonic scale there. So here I can go right there, we've got 5 on the B and 7 on the G. We can move that up 2 frets to 7 and 9. Move it up another 2 frets to 9 and 11. And we could even do 12 and 14. And the goal is to combine this stuff with the slides we were on about earlier. So you might take an idea like sliding up from 5 to 7 on the B, grabbing 9 on the top E string, then sliding 7 back down to 5. That kind of thing. You'll hear that a lot in his playing, and obviously it'll sound more like Vai when you hear Vai doing it, but that's a nice idea to break up things. It's also nice to try that kind of vertically. I was kind of improvising around this kind of idea earlier. There I was just kind of going on a train of thought, just finding all those fifth intervals within the E Lydian scale pattern and sliding into them, and it's a really nice way of just breaking up the scale and getting just really nice kind of, you know, it sounds like Vai, okay? Now this is one of my personal favourites. I'm a big advocate of using the whammy bar, the tremolo arm, whatever you want to call it, the Floyd Rose or Edge Pro, whatever you're using, as long as you can get a slight up and down on the bar, even if it's a vintage tremolo unit on a Strat. Jeff Beck managed to get loads of great sounds, and I wouldn't dare say actually that Vai probably was inspired by Jeff Beck a lot in his phrasing of the bar. But of course, with technology and the invention of the Gem and the Floyd Rose as well back in the 80s, we can see that we can get more extreme things going on at the bar. And you can hear this in players like Alan Holdsworth as well, and Alan Murphy, UK session legend. And it's kind of this way of really kind of scooping between notes. Something that I really got into was taking maybe 2 notes here on the G, and we pick the G. Well, actually, no, we don't. We dip the bar and hammer on from nowhere onto the G. Then we can dip the bar again and bring it back up to the 6th fret on the G there. So we can kind of actually give ourselves a bit of sustain into the note, because when you dip the bar, the string becomes lighter, so it's easier to do the hammer on, and then you can bring it up into the note, and that's something that it doesn't sound quite, you can bend into a note like that, but the bar gives a different character to the sound. Another thing that I really like is this kind of crying-like sound. I can't really explain. I'm sure there's probably a vocal style, and leave a comment below if you know the vocal style this is from. I've heard people like Kate Bush sort of putting this style of singing in the background vocal, but this kind of idea. And Holdsworth would do this a lot as well with wider intervals. You have to sort of control the noise a bit with the underside of your palm, but basically we're going to be doing, it's like a reverse scoop. You're going to do a hammer on and put up the bar at the same time. So you don't hammer on and then do the bar, you literally do it just before you hammer down. Okay, it can sound a bit unusual at times and neighbours may complain, and you might also attract lots of cats as well. But the good side of this is it's a lovely kind of emotive-like quality you get from this thing. And you can hear Vai do this, I think you can hear this on the Big Trouble solo. God, there's loads of solos he does this on, and of course Passion and Warfare and Love of God, For the Love of God is a really kind of really good masterclass in lots of these kind of whammy bar like emotive phrases. So there I was just sort of improvising around with some tapping ideas that I've picked up from Vai, and it's quite straightforward really. He does some kind of very particular things, such as you take a scale and you just extend it with a tapped note on top. A bit faster. That kind of idea, and actually to break that down and make it simple, because I think that as a lick quite cool, but really what's useful is if you take the smaller part. So you might take this part. So the fragment here is going to be 9, 11, 12 on the top E, tap on 14, and pull back off all the way back down. Then you're going to hammer on from nowhere onto the B string, 12 frets. And then from there you're going to pull off and hammer back on, then extend the tapped phrase. So yeah, take that idea and apply it to whatever scales or patterns that you know, and you'll get that kind of thing going on. Something else that Vai does a lot is this pattern. You hear him do this in Alcatraz, you hear him do this in lots of his solos. In the 80s he kind of really focused on this phrase, and I'm sure it comes up in a lot of later stuff as well, but it's definitely a Vai thing. And I'm going to couple this concept with odd groupings, meaning phrases built around odd numbers like 5s and 7. You know, you can see this in his legato lines, his picking lines, and his tapping, and it's a really good way of creating interesting patterns which aren't just repetitive groups of 3 or 6 or even 4. They're not bad, of course, it's all good, but the odd groupings can kind of really spice things up. So this idea, I'm thinking of an E flat minor pentatonic scale, and I'm going to do this group of 5. So we're starting out of a tap on the 18th fret on the A string, pulling off to the 13th fret on the middle finger on the A string. Then we're going to jump over to the G string, tap 18, pull off to 13, pull off to 11. So that's it. That's just a group of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. And then we just, within the scale, move the upper fret. So here we go, tap on 18 again, pull off to 13 on the D, then 19 on the B string, pull off to 14 and 11. So, and finally we're tapping G on the 18th fret, pulling off to 13 on the G, then we're going to go 19, pull off to 14 and 11. So, and at the end there, I tapped 19 and bent with the 3rd finger on the left hand on the B string 14th fret, and that took me out of the lick. There we go. Thank you for watching Steve Vai Playing Style and Habits. I've been Sam Bell. It's been really fun breaking down just a small portion of what makes Vai Vai. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's tons more in his playing. Leave us a comment below if I've missed anything or anything particular that you love about Steve Vai's playing. We do check the comments and we love to hear from you. If you want to get more free guitar lessons here on YouTube with Lick Library, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button as well so you're notified when we upload. There's going to be tons more free content on here on YouTube to help you on your guitar journey. And if you want to take your guitar playing further, then we have a huge amount of lessons at licklibrary.com. I was playing over some of the backing tracks from the Steve Vai lessons. There's loads of artist lessons, song lessons, technique, theory, tone, composition. We got it all. And there's also one-to-one mentorship as part of your membership if you sign up. Check the links in the description for more information. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.